Hey guys, it's Danny Ellie. Welcome back to the show. Thank you for joining me today. So, as we enter this 2025 period where everybody's talking about recession and rate cuts, money printing, the top 1% and the politicians and all of the crony capitalists, the lobbyists, and everybody in Washington, D.C. continues to get richer, and the middle class and the lower class in America continues to get poorer. This is good for Americans that live outside of the United States. As long as I'm holding US dollars, I will continue to be richer the more the central government prints money. So I think anybody should think about this. You know, if you're wondering why you can't get ahead in your corporate job, the cost of shelter and food keeps going up and you don't know how to fix it, or you're just sitting on the sidelines wondering, when am I going to be able to buy a house, bro? I can't afford to buy a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house, 1,000 square feet on an 8,000 square foot lot for $500,000. When am I going to be able to afford to buy a house? Well, you're not. So you need to go come up with a strategy that nobody else is thinking about. See, I don't think too many people are thinking about moving to Ecuador, but I am. I could save 70 to 80% on my monthly living expenses, and then I can accumulate more wealth at a rapid pace. And I got the Federal Reserve back home in the USA making Americans that live in the United States more and more poor, while I live in Ecuador and I become more and more wealthy just because of money printing, just because of government inflating the cost of everything and making the top 1% richer. The top 1% now has more money than the entire middle class in the United States. Just think about that for a minute. Or don't think about it. It's probably going to make you sick. But if you're in the middle class, you need to get out of the United States while you still have a chance and buy more property internationally. Because when this entire country collapses, you want to be secure and have real assets. And you don't want to be struggling like everybody else, getting more and more poor because of the government in Washington. You know, it's Easter right now. You can have a rebirth in your life. Like, that's what I'm doing. I'm reborn right now. Like, I'm done with corporate. I'm done with the 9-to-5 lifestyle. And I'm only going to invest in real opportunities. I'm not going to buy assets at the top of the greatest bubble in the history of planet Earth. I'm not going to buy U.S. real estate unless there's favorable terms where I get to take over the payments on a low interest rate. Something like that. But I'm not going to buy at the top of the bubble with 7.1% rates, with the highest property taxes we've ever seen in the United States, with the highest insurance rates, the highest HOA fees. I'm not going to do it because it's stupid. I'd rather buy real estate internationally, real estate that cash flows where I can get a 10, 11, 12% yield. I'd rather put money in a bank account where I can get an 11% yield. There's plenty of opportunities out there if you just look beyond the borders of the U.S. I just sold some guy some tires yesterday. He goes, "Oh, you're selling this house?" I said, "Yeah, I'm almost done. I just got to put up a door and paint the basement floor and finish up." And he goes, "I want to buy some raw land in Vermont." He goes, "Yeah, I like Vermont, the country, and it's away from everything." And he goes, "Yeah, I'm going to buy some land and put a tiny house on it because that's all I can afford." It's still in the United States. It's still subject to the US dollar inside the United States. And that's kind of what I was thinking about today. I said, no matter where you go, you know, you want to move out to Montana, or you want to move to Vermont, or you want to move to the Florida Panhandle, or you want to live in the middle of nowhere in Alabama somewhere, right? You're still subject to the purchasing power of the US dollar inside the United States. I was talking to boomers, right, the other day, and they were talking about how it's going to be so great because, like, Doge is cutting all this fraud, waste, and abuse. They're cutting less than 1% of government, and they think it's going to make a dent in the $37 trillion that they've run up during the last 50 years. It's just totally absurd. We hold 40% of the world's debt, and nobody even seems to notice this. Like, they think that cutting 1% of government is going to have an impact when you don't cut spending whatsoever in the U.S. Congress. Like, these people are completely delusional, these boomers, who think that, something's going to be done about this. But, yeah, hey, you want to have a blowout? Good. Have a party. Washington can do whatever the hell it wants. Everybody can keep doing what they're doing. Americans can keep doing their thing here in the United States. And I'm going to go do a different strategy. I would much rather be holding US dollars and living in Ecuador and just having a fabulous lifestyle instead of staying in the United States and getting poorer and poorer every single year as the money printer goes burr. You know what I mean? But that's all I got for you guys today here on a Sunday. These videos aren't that popular, just me talking about life. I know you guys like those, real estate agents getting arrested and going to prison. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Appreciate you joining me all the way till the end. Please hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and I hope to see you in the next episode. I'm Danny Elliott.